Good morning. Welcome to Chris BI. My name is Chris Wagner, and today we're going to be going over year-to-date, fiscal year-to-date, and the best way to troubleshoot DAX calculations ever. So we got a great combo video for you. But before we get to that, please take your time. If you like the content, hit like, subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Please also share this with other people at work. Let them know about the channel. Let them know how it can help them, build better Power BI stuff. All right, but let's get to it. Okay, so whoa, find myself in a common situation. I want to create a year-to-date calculation, and I want to create a fiscal year-to-date calculation. So this is generally speaking a very common task that you're going to be asked to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write this. I'm going to show you how you can easily create this DAX, and then how you can best troubleshoot and tell if you did it right. Okay. So we're going to be doing two different things. One, we're going to be using the wizard that's inside Power BI to show you how that works. Then we're going to be creating our own DAX statement, and then we're going to be validating that the test statement's right. So, all right. So to do that, I bring up my my Kratos BI data set. I've kind of laid out the data that I'm looking to create these measures upon. So I want to do internet sales amount. I want to do, in order to do year to date, I'm going to want to make sure that I've got my year, I've got my month, so I can clearly see when I've got my measure up and working right. So how to do that, we've got this great function. If we just right click on the measure we're looking at, we can do new quick measure. All right, new quick measure will open up this prompt. This is the GUID base, so you could write it yourself, but this just makes it easy for you to see how it goes. So I do year-to-date total. Now here, because I had right-clicked on my internet sales amount, it's going to default to this. I could clear this out and add in anything I want. And then the last thing it's going to ask for is, where is your date key? What's the date table that you want to create this by? Okay, so it's pretty easy to set this up. Like I said, you're choosing the calculation, choose the measure, and then you choose your date key. When I click on OK, it's going to automatically create that internet sales amount year to date. So that's going to appear right here. It's not going to be inside my chat. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. I want to bring this in. And when I manually look at it, I'm also going to replace this guy because I want to keep my eye close on my year-to-date value, because in my dashboard, in my reports, I want users, when they select on a value or when they select on something, they can always see that year-to-date value regardless of where they select. That value changes for them to this year-to-date calculation. So that is the functionality that I want to have, right? So regardless of what measure I selected, I don't want just 716,000 here. I want that full 6 million, right? So I think this is working. When I look at these values, 323 plus 437, that's 761-ish. Yeah, that seems about right. So this, I think, is working. I'm going to show you in just a second how you can test that out yourself. All right, so now I'm going to do a little something different. I want to go in and I want to do a fiscal year to date. And I know that inside my DAX statement, if I want to do that, all I have to do is, it's a small modification to the existing year-to-date calculation. I'm basically just going to put I'm going to pass in the fiscal year end date. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to take this because, what's that? I'm not lazy, I'm efficient, I think Patrick says all the time. So I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create new measure, paste this in. First, I'm going to change my name, so it's my fiscal year to date. And now I'm going to put in my fiscal year end. My date fiscal year end. Here we go. I've got this in. And and I'm pretty sure this is right? I think this is right. I read the documentation. I went online to Microsoft's site. It said, yeah, I gotta pass that in. So this is looking pretty good. So let me add this into my chart. As I start to look at this, I realize that it's not working the way I would expect it to. Let's go take a look at how would I validate, did I write this right? Am I doing this right? So this is where the external tools comes in as super handy. So I'm going to click on Analyze in Excel, and I'm going to show you this is my favorite trick and favorite reason for having Analyze in Excel available. So I've got my pivot table that when it pops up, I click on Internet Sales Amount, right? Now if I go down to my date dimension, and I build out a similar grid to what I had before. So I've got this set up here. I do like to have, when we talk about the design, I like to go into show in tabular format. This is going to make the next step I'm about to do much easier, okay? I'm also going to go up and I'm going to add in my the measures that I'm going to be testing, which is the year-to-date measure and the fiscal year-to-date measure, okay? Now, these things should be relatively easy for me to write some Excel formulas to check it. So I'm going to do a Y-to-date check. Now, I want to figure out what set that baseline so that I know what it is. So I'm going to say this is equal to sum of C3 through C3. So basically set a reference to it. And then I'm going to go over and select this first one and hit F4. What these dollar signs do is that keeps that reference the same, regardless of how I might change and drag and drop this formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this all the way down to the bottom of my data set that I care about. I'm going to expand this so I can see it. And then on the starts of my years, right? So here's the start of my year every time. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to change where I'm going to, set a baseline to. All right. So on my month ones, I'm always going to go through and do that. Kind of eyeballing it. It looks like these things are right, but actually, this is not my check. This is my manual calc. And now here's my YTD check. So this is really simple. All I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract this from this. And if the values are the same, I wrote my DAX statement right. So this is going to be equal to H3 minus D3. Okay, I got a 0 there. We're looking good. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, all right, my year-to-date manual calculations and my year-to-date checks are in sync. I'm good to go. This is working right. So now let's look at my fiscal year-to-date manual calc and my fiscal year-to-date check. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. I already know I think this is not working the way I'd expect it to. You can kind of look at this. You're probably saying to yourself, Chris, you didn't write that DAX statement right. But yes, that's the point of this video. It's to show you how you can troubleshoot and correct. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to set this equal to sum. And I'm going to, kind of do the same thing. C3. C3. Now I'm going to set this baseline to F4. So that gets all set up for me. I'm going to drag this all the way down to the bottom. So I've got this set up right. But here is, in the same way that I reset on my ones, right? This is the first of the month, or first, this is January of every year. So I'm talking year to date. You reset on the ones. On my fiscal year to date in my model, I know that it's June is my fiscal year. So June, we're gonna count June in the previous year. So that means in July of every year is when we're gonna reset. So on the sevens, I'm gonna reset this one to 9. I'm gonna send this all the way down, and then here's my next 7. and then I am going to set up my check. All right. So again, my check is going to subtract my manual value minus my calculated value, E3. And all right, that's looking pretty good. But rapidly, no, this isn't right. No, it's possible for me to do this formula right, or wrong, and but kind of already know I'm not doing my date key right. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I need to do to modify. Now I'm gonna short circuit and jump right into the correct value. The challenge is I did not pass in the appropriate year-end value. So if I go in and I make that small change to my fiscal year-to-date amount, we're going to see that my resets happen on my 7s, right? So this is looking pretty promising that I might have it good. I flip back over to my Excel. I go over to my pivot table. I refresh my calculations and blah. All right. So, what we did today is we calculated year to date. We calculated fiscal year to date wrongly. We then validated both of those calculations. We corrected it, and then we tested our correction using the internal or external tool for the Excel plugin. If you don't have the Excel plugin, I'll put links down below for how you can use that. This is if you're developing in DAX and you're building things out for the first time, or heck, even if you've been doing this for a long time and you got this like that little logo there, and you should be testing out and validating all of your calculations. It's really important to determine the quality of your code, making sure that everything is on the up and up, because everyone makes mistakes, right? So when you get it wrong, make sure you want to know ahead of time before anyone else does. Thank you guys very much for watching this content. I hope you found this useful. I hope you go out there and validate your code or validate your DAX, because it's never been simpler. It's never been easier. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave those down below. If you like this content, like I said before, like, subscribe, maybe even turn on that alarm bell. Thank you very much. Winners are going to be announced shortly on the Data Gods t-shirt. If you like the content that I'm providing, go out to KurosBI.com, buy me a coffee. I'll ship you some of these great Power BI stickers. Got some of these guys. But thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Peace.